And guys, welcome to this video, Are Twin Flames Rare? What do you think? We've been told maybe that twin flames are like this elite group or chosen ones, 144,000, or maybe it's too hard for certain people, it's too much, you just can't do it. And I think that the beliefs out there can kind of mess with our heads and tell us, well, I should just settle for less, settle for a soulmate, settle for something that's not really what I want. And I'm here to speak a message, but also really not be delusional and say everybody has a twin flame right now that they can have and be with, because honestly, I don't believe that. And I'm going to share why in this video. The idea is, my intention for sharing this video is to inspire you so you can have what you want. You can have the love that you want. You can have the awesome relationship. And to share my perspective as somebody who has spoken with, worked with tens of thousands of people from around the world, communicating with you in the commenters on YouTube and working with clients in over 30 countries. And I've seen a lot. And a lot of people talk to me about twin flames because it's what I'm known for. People will bump into me on the street and be like, Dr. Amanda Noelle, I know you. You're the Twin Flame Alchemist. I've been wanting to, share my life story with you. And they go into depth with what's been going on for them. And I see a lot of misinformation that messes with our heads. So this idea, twin flames are incredibly rare and like almost impossible to find. Is it true? Let's find out. So first of all, I'm the founder of Aphrodite University. My name is Amanda, Dr. Amanda Noelle. I have a doctorate in transpersonal counseling, metaphysics, and the divine feminine healing arts is what we teach at Aphrodite University, specifically helping women call in their ultimate beloved, their twin flame. And I talk in my videos about what a twin flame is, and I have a different definition than some of the twin flame vloggers, content makers out there. So I hope that you resonate with what I'm sharing. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. There are more drops coming on twin flames, divine feminine, divine masculine, healing yourself, calling in what you want, calling in more abundance, all the things I love. So let's dive in first to the concept. It's key to consider what twin flames are before we even say, like, are twin flames rare? What are we talking about? What are twin flames? We heard this concept, but like, what is it? And this concept, where did it come from? It really hasn't been called twin flames in English anywhere that I have seen before, at least for me anyways. Maybe 2000, in the early 2000s, maybe the 90s. That would be interesting if anybody knows of any resources from earlier. I remember getting a book in a metaphysical bookstore, and it looked kind of like 90s style. So maybe it was like 2000, late 90s. But I think that the term resonates with so many people because it has been talked about by Plato in his symposium about these four-legged, four-armed creatures that are split. And in every culture around the world, there are myths, there are stories, there are beliefs, there are these ideas of soulmates. But the twin flame concept really is connected to the prophecy, the 144,000, which, if you want to check out my previous video about that, I talk about this 144,000 prophecy that was given to us by various indigenous cultures, and then kind of went viral around the 2012 shift. There wasn't a whole lot around there. I remember when I was making my first videos in 2010, 2011, there was like nothing out there, just a few little videos on twin flames. There was no twin flame expert or twin flame, someone that really worked with twin flames, minus a handful of people that were dabbling. And a lot of us were really struggling with relationships, to be honest. I was, until I figured this out and tried it on myself. I was coaching and guiding people with metaphysics, wisdom teachings, and the tools were working for other people, but I had no idea what I was doing for myself. So I was learning as I taught it. Now I've been with my husband for almost a decade, but anyways, I digress. What are twin flames? That's what we need to define. Twin flames are not just another term for soulmates, or some even say twin souls. I fell in love with the term twin flame when I first heard it, and I remember a video by Magenta Pixie, who then later interviewed me, and that video went pretty viral. Her first video just was like, oh my God. She said, twin flames are not the same as soulmates. Twin flames are this like ultimate mirroring your other half of your soul. And something in that struck a chord with me. Like, I've always wanted to meet someone who gets me. I've always wanted to meet someone where there's this locking in, this merging. And she gave these signs, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted that. It feels like my purpose here. So that could be a sign if you're a twin flame. A little hint there. But sometimes people resonate with all the words. They're like my person, my soulmate, my twin soul. So whatever it is for you, just study that. Like, why does it resonate with you? What is it about the term that makes the hair stand up on your neck? What is it that you're seeking? And sometimes we can get really attached to something, but if we break it down of like, what am I really asking for? What does my heart really want? Then that is more important than the concept. So they are unique. The twin flame term, we're unique, that we believe that there's one soul that's divided into two physical bodies. Now, I have another thought about that. It's this belief, twin flames, I used to channel, and I came up with something about like same candy divided into two separate candy wrappers, you know, and I had a picture of these two little candies in my video before my old channel got deleted back in 2012. So this concept of we're one soul split into two, that's very much a Platonic Plato, not literally Platonic from the non-sexual, but it's from Plato and his Symposium. And this concept goes back to ancient times, that we are souls that have been split apart by higher gods who are above us, and that we suffer, and that when we come together, it brings us into a more powerful state where we become these goddesses. So for me, I don't care if my husband is like has the same color eyes. You know, one of my clients, she flew out to Bali and she met us and she's like, he has hazel eyes, you have blue eyes. Like, our twin flames, do they have the same eye? I'm like, we don't care about that. I mean, sure, it's fun that everybody says, oh, you and your husband look like you look like twins, or you look so similar. And he hasn't done a video in a really long time. We've been doing our own like 30-day video challenges because he's so obsessed with astrology right now. And I'm like, I love it. But, you know, like, you do your crypto astrology. Anyways, when Jack comes on the channel, you'll see our faces have sort of morphed to look more similar. When we first met, I wouldn't say we necessarily looked like twins, but I would say now we do. We could maybe be cousins for sure at the beginning, but now definitely there's like some vibes of like, whoa, similar. So, but yeah, when we met, our souls felt like, holy crap, that is crazy. We are so similar. And what it felt like for me is, it felt so light. Like, it felt so easy to dance with him. And I had a hard time. I'd gone through such a difficult shamanic experience where my soul died and then came back. And instead of dancing 5 times a week, I danced like 5 times in a year, and I would always have to leave dances early. It was like really hard for me to be in my bliss. And then eventually I got my confidence back, but I couldn't dance with anybody else. It was really hard. I was even dating a DJ, and I was like, I love our dynamic because you're there and I'm here and I'm like making love to your music. But like, it was really hard for me to like be together. And then when I met Jack, he danced up to me actually on the ecstatic dance floor. I was like, wow, this person is the first person I've ever been able to dance for like an hour and a half, let alone like 5 minutes. So I do feel like there's a soul energy. What's been interesting is, I remember when we danced, our dance styles were very different. I like a lot of contact, and I'd done contact improv, and I like to move in a certain way. And I was like, wow, like he's introducing this like very slow, like different energy, like his soul. And I was learning so much through it that I was like, it's not normally what I would think is like me in the form of a man in terms of the physical energy. But when I connected with this, the energy of it, it was so light, so sensual. So it turns out that, to me anyways, twin flames can have different physical DNA. We can be from different tribes. We can have different color eyes. We can have different flows and astrologies. There are no limits, but there's something that is so home and so familiar and the same. And that is the soul. So it doesn't mean that we've been divided or come apart necessarily. I don't think that's so important. Although on plant medicine journeys, Jack did remember that we were once together and that he went out and became a masculine like galaxy out there, and then he had to come back and save me as like a being on Gaia, and that I was like his divine feminine little like grounding point or something like that. So who knows? We can't prove any of this, right? Unless you have some kind of like advanced futuristic technology to know the future of like twin flame guru. I don't know. What do you think? But anyways, twin flames to me and they're said to have this intense connection that goes beyond any other relationship or connection that might come to them in a lifetime. And I would definitely say that that's why I'm with my partner. That's why I chose to commit to him. That's why he chose to commit to me. And it was so, I don't want to say effortless because we've had our journeys, but he and I met and we couldn't really stay apart, if you know what I mean. Like I would try and break it off, or we would try and rationalize, you're too young, I'm too old, you're not living in the same town as me, it's too complicated. And then we'd like try and not pursue it, and then it's like the energy was just so strong that you just text him, and like before you knew it, okay, you can fly down and visit me, and hey, like why don't you just stay for a little bit longer weekend? Oh hey, it's been like a month and maybe you should start paying rent, maybe you should look for a job here, like what do you think? How's it going for you? Commitment. And we just, we've spent almost every day since we met, minus some separations where we had to do that inner work. So they are a reflection of each other and are believed to learn and evolve together. Twin flames are mirror halves that come together in union when each half chooses to come together when we are healed, whole, and ready. And some people are not ready. And so that's why I would say twin flames who are here on earth and don't find their other half, it's because they haven't either done the work or they're not ready. They have a lingering fear. They have a subconscious block. Sometimes I get hired as a twin flame alchemist because people are like, I've tried everything. I want love, but I keep having disappointments, or this person that I think is my twin flame keeps pushing me away. They're not messaging me back, or they're in a relationship with someone else. I know it's not right. I know like I have this strong urge to be with them. I never work with stalkers or people that are like, and it has to be them. But a lot of times they're like, I suspect this is my person, and this mirror is showing me where I'm not available, where I'm not ready, where there's a blockage, something's reflecting a distortion. And that's where I dive in as a mystic, a psychic, and I do the readings and see what resonates with them. And oftentimes just seeing them as spirit and reading them, their agreements start to change. It's like, okay, you have a wound from a past life. You have an ancestor a couple generations ago who was, I feel like she was like married into, slavery, like a bride, mail order bride or something like that. And it was so painful for her, and you're carrying her karma. Would you like to clear it? And then they're like, oh my God, I do have an ancestor that was a mail order bride. And like, I heard about that. And sometimes they know, sometimes they don't know. We don't know our histories. But what's really cool is when we do this healing of the subconscious love blocks, we can clear our ancestral pain. So it's not in our field anymore. We're not running our chakras with this gunk in it, this heavy weight. And we can do clearings, we can do rituals, we can make offerings, we can do the letting go work, we can clear karmic ties to ancestors or other beings, entities, organizations that are not serving the light in present time. And that's where the twin flame codes start to, our chakras start to spin at their own rhythm. We get our rainbow light body codes. We have our twin flame DNA activated because the light in our body is activating our physical form, and we're not out of alignment, we're in full alignment. So to me, dude, goddess, God, like it doesn't matter if you are like a twin flame, or if you're a twin soul or a soulmate, or if you're like, it's really about this alignment within ourselves. It's really about finding our happy place inside, having our wholeness, becoming enlightened masters for ourselves. And then from that place, we're so joyful. We're like, whatever, universe, like just, I am the universe. I am so full of myself. I'm so joyful. I'm so ready. I've been so depressed and down and anxious. I've been through all of the the explosions of the universe, all of the cataclysms so many times, and I've exalted myself and realized that I am an eternal being and I am love, I am this, I am that. So we need to get to that Christ force energy, that sovereignty. And a lot of people, they're looking for their twin flame when they're young. First of all, like the age, maybe they're in high school and college. And we all start these romantic journeys then. And we have no mystery schools to educate us, especially our young women who are the space holders of the sacred flame of the feminine, the love aspect. The masculine is more about consciousness. So we might have like our bodhisattva, masculine, our meditators, our mindfulness, presence, the protection of the masculine. But our women have not been taught how to love. And instead we're turning to songs that are distorting our self-esteem, the 8, I don't even want to say that the hertz. But, we have a lot of music that is engineering our minds to be mind controlled, to get into a lower octave, to be out of love. Jack and I were watching a music video called No Love, and we were laughing because it's like this stylish, trendy YouTube video about how no one gets love. Like, people are proud that they're depressed. People are proud that they're like worshiping this like satanic cult kind of vibration in the music industry, in Hollywood, in movies. And it's just like, why would you do that? So a lot of people are giving away their twin flame energy voluntarily or even subconsciously. And so that's something that we need to consider if we're on a twin flame path is, are we clean? Are we running our own energy? Are we giving up on love? Are we worshiping false prophets and masters that are even disguised in the media, that have been duping us since we were little kids watching these fantasy fairy tales? But twin flames have healed ourselves to the degree that our chakras are spinning at our own frequency. The two beloveds, the two halves, have already mastered themselves, stepped into their own independence and sovereignty. So with regards to whether or not twin flames are rare, I would personally say that it's safe to say that they're not necessarily rare, because if we heal ourselves and we are mirrors of the universe, that like we are microcosms, the creator God, the infinite universe that is all, we are created in the mirror of our creator. So we have the potential to then become one with the universe, become one with this creator, become one with this life force energy. And we are that. And so if we are this microcosm of divine feminine, divine masculine, the yin and yang energy, the twin flame energy that it is sparked in all life, then why would there only be a chosen few? Now, that said, maybe there's only a chosen few that have chosen themselves, that have signed up for this. And maybe before we incarnated, before, when some timelines were set, maybe there were Bibles that prophesied and like had a program and a plan that was like, there's going to be 144,000. But what if in the universe has the ability to write its own code and free itself? And maybe there were programmers that were like, they're only going to be 144,000. This is how it's going to be. But then those in this reality were like, well, this isn't fun. I don't want to be stuck here. So as above, so below, as within, so without. Above, we have these gods, right? Plato talks about it, or we have this higher energy. We don't know everything, right? I'm a doofus a lot of the time. I'm human. But, so on some level, to be a twin flame would be really rare. To be this like all-knowing being, for sure. Like no one is the savior that I know, because even the people that I believe, even the people that I've met that believe that they're like the reincarnation of Jesus, like their shit stinks like anybody else's, pardon my French. They have human aspects. I think we all have this access to this higher wisdom, but we're also big goofballs, right? So, and that's part of the polarity in the twin flame union inside of ourselves. We have these divine, beautiful crowns, and on the other side, we have buttholes, right? So like, even if for these ascended masters, if you are in a physical body, it's going to have boo-boos. It's going to have ups and downs. And like, until you is ascended into the holy light flame, like, when you watch maybe an episode or like Star Wars, when Yoda Obi-Wan Kenobi like ascends and he's just left a robe and nothing else because he's just gone to the light. Like, I want to see you do that. If you tell me that you are truly the incarnation of like so-and-so master. Most of us are not that, and that's why we're here to learn. And at the same time, I believe that these the logos of the universe, the Christ force energy, the Christ consciousness, the Sophia consciousness, the wisdom of the entire universe is held within us, and we have these little puzzle pieces of it as we are unlocking it inside ourselves. And that's why we need to work together instead of tear each other down. And in order to come back together as in unity consciousness, we need to find those healthy boundaries of like, maybe not right now, and also come together. And twin flames are an incredible symbol of that, because when you're with your twin flame, you got to set some major boundaries. You got to let go of certain expectations. You got to learn to come together and also say, you know what, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'm feeling a little frustrated right now. I don't want to yell at you right now, but I'm just like, you know, you're my beloved. I care about you. And I'm so frustrated because I was just working on my taxes, and I'm ready to kill anybody in my way. So we need those boundaries. We have our moments, right? We are human. By the way, who here loves taxes? Give me a thumbs up if you just love taxes. Sarcastically, just kidding. Sorry, it's just the season right now. Okay, if you want it, here it is. Come and get it. Make up your mind fast. So my message comes from watching Sing 2. A lot of times my daughter watches that movie, Sing 2. And it's, you know, if you want it, come and get it. Make up your mind fast. Anyways, my daughter sings it over and over with her 3-year-old voice. And it was in my head as I was writing the script for this video today. And I really feel like if you want it, come and get it. You know, take it, do it, activate your twin flame energy, go after it. A lot of people are going, oh, twin flames are rare. Some guru on YouTube told me, you know, it's really hard, or twin flames are this, twin flames are that. You know, I better settle for less and be more logical and practical. And logic is important. And a lot of times people with love addiction are not logical enough, so that's a good thing. A lot of people who have love addiction are attracted to the twin flame theory. I've been one of those people, and I've worked with many of those people. But a lot of times people go extreme. They go, I've been on the twin flame path. I fell in love with some guy who didn't give me the time of day. I wasted it all on him. Then he cheated on me and did this and did that. And like, there's no way I could have him back. And so I'm going to just like stop asking for my twin flame from the universe. I'm just going to go for a soulmate. I'm going to keep it simple. Like, I messed up this lifetime, so it's not really going to be that great. That's the biggest mistake. And that's what we don't want to do, is when our heart gets shut down, we don't want to lower the vibration. Instead, let that heartbreak be your, you know, I just keep getting these Jesus metaphors today, you know, like you've been crucified. Baby, bring on the resurrection. That guy you were waiting for 5 years to call you back, who finally like called you back to tell you like, let me call you back another time, just wait 5 more years. That happened to me. It's like, okay, I just waited on a cross for 5 years. I'm stepping down and like, I'm finding the real resurrected aspect of myself, my beloved. And so I chose Jack, who was there. Twin flames might be rare in the sense that, you know, we are not everywhere. Not everybody knows what twin flames are. Not that you have to know about it to be one. My dad was like, he came out of the hospital a couple years ago before he went back in and then passed away. But he had this moment of clarity. He had like his coming to Jesus moment, since we're on the topic. And he said, Amanda, you know, you're talking about twin flames. I never thought to ask you, like, what are they? And he was like, I think your mom is my twin flame. And it just like, because he was so raw, he had just gone to the other side. He'd had like an out-of-body experience. And he's like, yeah, you know, she's my twin flame. And I was like, wow, that's so great. My dad was like this rational guy. He'd just be like, oh, twin flames, what are those? But he really got it. And he had that coming to Jesus moment. Then he kind of, you know, shook it off and just went back into the everyday. And we never spoke about it again. But I think it's deep divine love. And when you call it in, you say, you know, I want my twin flame, or even I choose it. I choose this energy to become twin flame love. I choose this soul merging. I choose to be mirrors of each other. I choose to be two souls that are the same in two separate bodies. I believe it becomes it. I just believe that. I remember I was like really questioning. I'm like, oh, is my husband my twin flame? And I was like, I know I'm ready. I'm ready for this so badly. I've been on this path for so long. The guy burned me before this. It was so painful. And I said, I just want to know the truth. Like, is Jack my twin flame? You know, can he be this person in my life where it's like I didn't mess up, but I got it right? And that night I had a dream that there was a cataclysm, like Atlantean flood, and there were floods everywhere. And we ascended to the heavens, and we were like running around. We found each other. And I was like, I'm so glad you're here. And then I was like, I need to know. Like, we needed to know. We just knew. We had to check our arm tattoos. I don't know. To see if we were marked with the same twin flame insignia. And we both looked at our arms, and he had one on his right arm. I had one on my left. And I remember, like, it was just like we locked. And then the energy started to sparkle, like magic sparkles. And then the tattoo turned from like a black tattoo to actually this like light on the skin. And then it like popped out as a symbol. And I'm not going to share what the symbol was completely, but there was a rose in the middle, which is why we have the symbol of a rose in our logo, some of our graphics, 'cause it's so special to me. But once I saw that, I was like, oh my God, he is my twin. Like, I knew that, and I didn't question it anymore. And then I woke up, didn't tell Jack about it. We went about our day, and then in the afternoon, he's like, let's go hiking to the waterfall. So we went for this hike. He got down on one knee, and he proposed. And when he proposed in that moment, in that ugly windbreaker, where I was like, oh my God, this is so perfect. Like, he's like this majestic, perfect guy wearing this ugly black raincoat that he really needed to get rid of since high school. I was like, this is it. Like, this is the moment of divine grace and beauty. And like, I don't even care what he's wearing. Like, he is so gorgeous. And I knew, and I'd had the sign that I needed. So I think that's a really good rule of thumb if you're looking and you want to know. One of my hacks is like, let the universe show you a sign. It doesn't have to be rare, but if you want to be clear about it, is this your rare beloved, your rare person, like the one for you? Let the universe tell you, so you're not doubting. Doubt is like a buzzkill, right? A bliss kill. The universe often brings two flames together to help us awaken, heal, and evolve spiritually. So focus on your own healing. That is like the key. In order for me to be ready for my man, and to be ready for our union, and to be ready for the challenges that we face in life together, with each other together, I could not move through it had I not done the foundational work on myself, and continue to heal myself, and continue to work together in the relationship. And Jack does the same. Absolutely. We take care of our health together. We take care of our wealth together. We take care of it individually. He has his own source of income. I have my own source of income. We have our joint sources of income. Not in the sense that we separate it, because we do share the pot ultimately, but like, it didn't feel good when we merged everything, and like all of our clients were coming from the same source of income, and like the pressure was on all of us. So I love that we can be like two independent people, that if anything were out to ever happen to me or to Jack, he could provide for himself and our baby, or vice versa with me. Independence. Twinterdependence, twin flame interdependence. I like that term I just came up with. Twinterdependence. This is why the journey to finding one's so-called other half is described as challenging, because we're programmed to be codependent, especially women. I'm sorry, it's nothing personal to us women. Maybe it's just the fact that our babies are completely codependent on us, dependent on us. And we have that like mushy mama energy where we just want to give, and therefore maybe the mirror of that is we just want to like merge with the man and have him feed us and provide for us. It could be because of the tens of thousands of years, maybe thousands of years more accurately, of women being completely dependent on the patriarch to feed her, clothe her, give her money. Because of the money systems, women physically are not as strong. So if we got beaten, we literally physically would get beaten by the men. We wouldn't win. So we had to submit, and we've been through this patriarchal time. So it's been a long period of women not being independent. We've been financially codependent. We've been getting the points from them. Do I look good in this outfit? Are you choosing me over her? Maybe my shoes should be a little bit higher tonight. Maybe I should get that like chin tuck, or that forehead lift, or jab myself with more of the fillers, because then he'll like me. When really what he likes is your heart and your love and your womb and your sexual connection. And if we're looking for those superficial things too much, then we go off the twin flame path, and we end up in this self-hatred soup where nobody is in love with themselves and there's no polarity, there's no attraction. We're giving our power away. So twin flames often experience synchronicities that can be anything from like the dreams, like I had ascending and realizing we had the same insignia, seeing numbers like 1111 or 22 or any number synchronicity 444. I do have these with female friends. I'm like constantly messaging a couple of my friends where it's like 144, like this time is 144 or 444 or 1111 or the, you know, like the message is 222 and the time is 222. It's like, okay, I love the angels. There's this little connection there. So it doesn't mean that we're twin flames. We could be friends. We could be in alignment. But yeah, we feel each other's presence when we're not physically together as well. You can just tap in and know. But again, you can do this with friends too, soul family, with soulmates. So, you know, ultimately, who's the twin flame authority? That's you. But twin flames often feel like they've known each other forever. I would say this sign is pretty classic, and there is an instant familiarity feeling when they meet. However, the journey to finding one sacred union may not be immediate. Just because you feel safe and like you know this person, like you're coming home, doesn't mean that you feel good enough for it. It's like maybe if the universe wanted to give you a new home and you move into it and it's like this divine gift, but you're still caught in like, I'm not good enough. You might not renovate it, or you might manifest a leak, or you might manifest some stuff that's just an upper limit belief system. It can take years to really tap into the twin flame energy enough to reunite with them and to really stick. And I feel like it's a never ending unfolding rose. You can always become closer to your beloved. So it's essential to highlight that not everyone's going to reunite with their twin flame in the physical world. Some may meet in that astral realm, the spiritual fantasies, the dreams, or even maybe have an interaction and then one of them passes over. But whether someone reunites with their twin flame or not in this physical world, the twin flame connection remains one of the most intense and transformative connections one can have. I've helped those who have even lost their twin flame due to a death. You know, they tell me, I met my twin flame, we were together for 5 years and this person died. And they're like, I don't think I could ever have this again. And I see the grief, and I sometimes have talked to people in a very tender way of like, I get it. I get that you have your twin flame, you put him on your altar. He's like your one, your person. But just so you know, I'll tell them, you know, the twin flame spark is still within our soul. And I've seen all kinds of weird things happen where people say, you know what, I'm going to let it go. I'm still young. I still have time. Even though I had my twin flame, what if I'm open to twin flame energy again and call it in? And sometimes the person that comes in and stands in is very similar to their previous partner. Or maybe their bodies are really different or their hobbies are different, but there's just the same home energy, and it's so sacred, and it's exactly what they needed. And part of the second twin flame aspect is to help them learn that the universe is not limited and that there's an infinite way to express and receive love. Love is infinite, so why stop yourself with some weird twin flame concept? Twin flame connections are becoming more common in recent times, and I think that this is because of the consciousness. A lot of people are... It's trending. Love is blind. They finally mentioned the term twin flame. I was wondering if someone was going to say it. I love watching Love is Blind. And someone's like, oh my God, I think he's my twin flame. And so, twin flames are becoming a trend, and the consciousness is, there's this group think. I don't know if you've heard of the 100 monkeys, but if there's 100 monkeys on one island in Japan, they did like a study. 100 monkeys were able to master the skill of opening the sweet potato using a tool. 100 monkeys got to it, and all the islands started to awakening with this skill. So as long as we have a certain number, and I think that tipping point, maybe the 144,000, it's starting to spread like rapid fire around the globe, and this world is undergoing this massive shift in consciousness, and more people are awakening spiritually and to the twin flame energies, which then leads to a higher vibration that can draw the twin flames closer by moving the blockages we've been suffering from in our ancestry, past lives, collective, etc. We're moving the boulders. It is, to me anyways, therefore safe to say that while twin flames are maybe more rare than the average classic soulmate relationship, the picket fence, They might not be as rare as some might think and believe. Personally, I believe that at some point twin flames will be the new black. I mean, the new pink or the new gold, the new rainbow. The universe often brings us twin flames together to help us learn and evolve on deeper levels. The lessons we learn as the twin flame on the twin flame journey often leads to immense spiritual growth, healing, and personal development. And that's what we need on this planet. So I was going to share the twinspiration of Angela's story, a previous client of mine from Boston. Angela's a graphic designer. While doing an ayahuasca retreat in Peru, she met a guy named Marcus who was working in Silicon Valley. They met each other when they were both in their mid-20s, maybe late 20s, and they immediately felt a deep connection, like they'd known each other for multiple lifetimes. They discovered and thought that they were twin flames, the two souls cut from the same cloth, and they were drawn to each other like magnets. And as they got to know each other, become more intimate, they realized that they had a unique connection, a special one, and they finished each other's thoughts, each other's sentences. They would even put on the same colored clothing all the time. And it was like they could communicate telepathically, even if they didn't want to. They would just know what the other person had said or done. If they were gone for their day, they were like, at 3 o'clock, I felt like something negative happened to you, but then you let me know that you were fine. And it's like, yes, exactly. My phone died, the batteries died, but I telepathed you. So they explored their spirituality together, and they learned various spiritual practices from meditation, yoga, chanting, all the divine feminine healing arts, energy healing. They were really into it because their connection with each other just took them down a rabbit hole, and they'd already been on the spiritual path, which just skyrocketed when they were learning together. So they were always learning, they're always growing, pushing each other to become the best version of themselves. And as time went by, they faced challenges and struggles, but that's life. When they supported each other through those difficult times they would get through, they learned to communicate their feelings openly and honestly. And, they tried not to anyways. They didn't judge each other like a lot of people do, and they had done in their past, but they kept that sacred union really clean because they knew the twin flame mirror was real, that if they judged the other person, that they were judging themselves. So as they continued to evolve, they realized that their love was not bound to physical limitations, and they felt connected in the depths of their souls. And as they were meditating together, they had a profound realization. They both felt that they had a mission in life, a purpose that was bigger than themselves. They felt that their purpose was to spread love, light, and to inspire others to remember their true nature and to help people awaken into their spiritual essence. So in that moment of meditation, they had this hallelujah moment. They decided to dedicate their life's missions to creating a community center where people could come together and learn about spirituality, meditation, mindfulness, probably twin flames too as part of their work. They held workshops, retreats, healing sessions, helped people from all walks of life tap into their spiritual potential. They still have not created their community center because the COVID pandemic kind of threw things back, but they are on the path of retreats and workshops and doing one-on-one and group calls. As they work together and helped others, they continue to evolve spiritually. So they're continually discovering deeper levels of joy, peace, of growth. They uncover new levels of trauma and pain as well. But they really have felt an ever-growing sense of connectedness with the universe. When I see them on the calls together, they're able to eye gaze and just lock back in. And eye gazing is a tool that I teach my clients once they're in union. So powerful to come back in, and something that has saved ourselves from hours of arguing at times when there's some big wound or trigger coming up and we're just we've lost it, and we're just our egos, we come back in. Amazing. So they knew that their love would continue to flourish and evolve wherever their spiritual journey took them, which is why they've been able to commit to get married, continue their spiritual journey, growing and evolving together. And they are on the path at some point to creating a spiritual retreat center with their ayahuasca and spreading love and light in Peru and wherever they want. So I share this story, even though with Angela, it was not, I would say this journey is kind of an archetypal journey for twin flames. A lot of twin flame women end up discovering their soul purpose right around the time they meet their twin flame or interact. So it's not easy. It's not easy discovering our souls, discovering our purpose, like putting it and grounding it into being. Same with finding our twin flame and making it work. It can dredge up a lot of pain. It's not for everyone. Not everyone will find their twin flame this lifetime, and that is okay, accepting that. The universe has a divine plan, and if it's not meant for someone to experience their beloved twin flame this lifetime, then there are other experiences that they're meant to have. Understanding that not everyone is ready for the twin flame connection, and not everyone you think is your twin flame is going to be ready for that connection. Surrender it, let it go, something better will come, and that's the true twin flame energy. Twin flame journey is not an easy one, for sure. Being in a relationship is not easy. Being in a body, being with ourselves, that's not easy. Having a kid, that is like 10 times as hard. It requires immense self-growth, healing, spiritual development, consciousness, care, ongoing. Twin flames out there, to me, we're not rare in the sense that I believe everyone has a mirror. Everyone has a twin flame. Everyone has God, goddess, love inside and outside. They're rare in the sense that two twin flames are brought together because it's a little rare to have the union happen, because most people just ain't ready for it. They're not mature enough, or they're ready to just witness it, to come into union, and then they can't hold the water. It's like you've got the sacred plant, here it is, but can you water it? Can you put it in the right amount of sun? Can you trim it? Can you prune it, you know? So you got to take that action. You got to take pleasurable action, as I like to say. Continue to take action. Take the steps every day to heal yourself, to work on yourself, to mend the home of relationships, family, dysfunction, you know, past life healing. Oh my God, there's so many things that I do in my 11 phases of Twin Flame Alchemy. And in fact, I'm going to give you a super specific kind of recipe ingredient today, which is, in order to be in your twin flame union, you'll want to take pleasurable action, and pleasure is the aspect of the feminine. The feminine energy is half the battle, half of the bliss, half of the twin flame union, and a lot of people are lacking female energy. So I'm going to give you, in my next video, I'm going to complete this video here. I'm going to give you 11 ways to increase your female creative energy, and it starts with self-care. Then I'll end the video here and say thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to sharing more about divine feminine creative energy in another video coming to you sometime this week. Have a beautiful day. Let me know what you think of this video, and I'm still scheduling a couple more twin flame activation sessions, so click the link below if you are ready to skyrocket your twin flame love codes, call in your person, heal yourself, and stop waiting and instead just grab life by the twin flame balls. So I'll put the link below for a free twin flame activation session with me. Spots are limited, so there's an application process that will actually give you a little twin flame energy tune-up just by asking the questions. It's a great exercise of self-love and self-care. All right, see you in the next video. Namaste. Namaste. Bye.